Well, hello and welcome back to the plot. Now today we're doing a lot of weeding because when we've come back off holiday there's been, well, it's just exploded into weeds. As you can see in the background, Crystal's doing the strimming at the front, getting rid of all of it, because that's the first thing the council say, is obviously to tidy the front. But when you look in here, so around my water barrel, in here is going to need doing before I plant some, but around here does need pulled out, and there is bits in between the beds we need to do here. As you can see in the paths, some of them are coming up, which I'm going to go along and dig them out. I'm not strimming them. I'm going to actually try and dig them out from the roots and try and get rid of as much as I can. Same with around here as well, and along the edges of the plot. One thing I do need to get rid of is the potatoes. This is the bed for the potatoes last year, and you can see they've started springing up. We did try and get most of them gone, but there is a few just on the border here. It doesn't look like the rest of the bed has, where the potatoes have started springing up, which I don't want them. Pierre and I can see there, it went around this onion, so I'm going to have to try and pull that out without it affecting. I'm just going to have to break them, because that's going to affect the onion if there's a potato trying to get out. Oh, it's well in. Yeah, so I'm going to have to go through as well and take these potatoes out, because that'll really affect that bed. So that's going to be my first job today, is trying to get these weeds out of this wood chip bath. All the fun. Right, so I've come to my red onion bed. Now, if you remember, this is the first bed I ever made, and it was for my potatoes. So I had the new ones down here and the main crop down that side. Now I'm wondering if I can take some of these up and move them into the bed that I had the other potatoes in, to see if it will actually grow there. Now they've only just sprung up the last week or so, so I'm wondering if I can get down, take some of them out and put them in there. I've got room for maybe 2 or 3 more, because they have started coming up. So I'm going to dig down, I'm going to see, because obviously I don't want them disturbing that. They're going to have to go regardless. I'm going to try to get down and remove some and see if they can be replanted, if it's a full potato or if it's just tiny bits, because in the compost bin they are actually starting to grow in there, but this is off the peel, which I didn't think would actually do it. I'm going to try and take them up without taking them onions with it. Yeah. Now this, some size, this was a Charlotte, I'm sure it was, and yeah, it's got to some size in the ground, but I am going to take that out, and I might actually pop that into that bed and see if that works. I've never really thought of replanting potatoes, so I'll put that in there and see if it works. I'm going to try this one here, get it quite deep down. Even if I'm burying some of the plant. Now we'll see if that one will actually take off, or it just dies. We'll have a see what's on it. Now I've got space for one more. I might have a look around the bed and see if there's another big one and pop it in here. So I've buried the other 2 in there. Let's see if they take off and see if that onion survives. But I'm going to get back to de-weeding this bed. I think this is the last one I actually have to do by hand, well, by trowel, and then get my gloves out for the nettles over there. And then the rest of the plot will just need a trim back to keep on top of it, I think. Oh, it's very hot to be doing this. 23 for the next couple of days. It's lovely. Alright, well, I've done most of that weeding around the beds apart from the nettle one. But I've had like a mini potato harvest pretty much from that bed. You can see it in there. There's a few of them that I've managed to pull up full. But I thought I'd cleared it all out, but that's one thing. I think I'm glad I've done them in the pots because it's affecting some of the onions. You can see it's either pushed them or it's. I feel like where they've not been able to grow as much, I think. But pulling them out there, it's been affecting the onions. I've been accidentally lifting some up and I've tried to push them back down, so hopefully it hasn't affected them too much. But with this heat, I'm going to have to take a break. I'm going to empty this bucket into that pile at the back where it's just I've been putting all the weeds and stuff, and I'm hoping to compost down, to be fair. Instead of putting them in my compost bin where it might germinate or weeds might get into it and I'll just have a weedy mess after that. So I'm going to have 5 because of this heat. Take a break and then I'm going to pull up some of them weeds. But there is some stuff I want to do with my mint, and I'll show you that in a minute. It's definitely not the right heat to be wearing these size gloves, but they're the best things for the job for these nettles, because as you've seen before, you don't feel anything. Oh, it's quite light at the top, but yeah, these would be the best for the job, for getting these weeds up. They're the nettles especially, because I can just grab them and pull them out. But this time last year, this thing was just full all the way up and down of nettles. So I'm not surprised this many's come through, even after I've put down cardboard and mulch and stuff like that, because it was just rife with them. It is very surface though, so they're not taking much to actually get up. So a year ago, it was only a year, I bought some strawberry, apple and Moroccan mint and put it in one pot. Only little plants. This is the pot now. Now, as you, there's an odd weed getting in there somehow. As you can see, they've all mixed together. I'm sure that was the apple one, the big leaf. And the one with the darker one here, is the Moroccan? Yes, I can smell the difference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some cuttings, put them in individual pots, because I know you can't divide them, but the roots in there are just going to be a tangled mess. And you can see they're not really going in the middle now. It's all around the outside, so I'm guessing they're just escaping around the outside because that's the only bit that they've got. Is this a strawberry one? Yes, strawberry one there. To be honest, they're very similar. I can't taste the apple on the apple one. I can't taste the strawberry on the strawberry one. The Moroccan one is my favourite, so I will be doing more of these because I do them with a green tea. With no sugar, it's sweet enough with that mint and green tea. So I do want a couple more of the Moroccan mint. I'm going to do that now, do a couple of cuttings. I have got some rooting powder just to give them a bit of a head start. I know mint doesn't need it, but I thought I might as well give it the best start. So let's take some cuttings. Filled my pots, pre-watered. I'm going to go through, pick out some of these ones, the new ones shooting up. I'm going to do more of the Moroccan than other ones, but I'm still going to do 2 of each of the other ones. I'm actually going to get these big ones here. It's because they need a trim back. Anyways, these took off really quick. So I'm going to take it here. Strip it down. Oh, I do love the smell of them. Now, I did try these in an actual like drinking. I didn't taste anything different, so I'm just going to dip them in this rooting powder and just pop them in the pan. We put them just in the middle. There we go. So I've just popped it like that. Now these will always be kept in pots because I know how much they can spread. I do see people putting them in the water, but I just feel like, is that not just adding a middleman to it? And like getting it a root in water, which seems to take ages. It's never worked for me for some reason. They just pop it straight in the soil. It's probably got a better chance of surviving straight in the soil than actually putting it in water, I would assume. That's two of them ones. Shot is the apple. Get a good smell. It's very light mint. It's not like your strong spearmints or anything like that. Right, now it's to decide which one's which. Because they do look different. Slightly. So, I'm sure the darker one. Let's take you there. That's a strawberry. So the darker one is strawberry. You can't just get the slight fruity smell to it. Now I'm doing a couple just in case they don't survive. Just on the off chance. And let's get another one. That one looks quite good. Yeah, it's definitely, you can just smell it. A little bit more than the apple. Well, I do like the flowers as well with them, so it's another reason I do get them. But it adds a bit of talking point, I think. Like, oh, smell that one, see what that one. I do want the chocolate one as well. Right, so we know now that this slightly lighter one with the darker stem is the Moroccan. And I'm going to do 4 of them. I'll go with you. Because this one does have that more of a kick of the mint. This is, it's great in green teas. I'm trying to find the best ones to do. Just how crowded that pot is, I don't know how long it'll last. Right. I'll get on with these and I'll come back when I'm finished though. That's them now. 2 strawberry, 4 Moroccan, and the 2 apple. And I'm going to pop these in the greenhouse now. Hopefully they will take, hopefully they will with the rooting powder. I'm going to put them in more of a shadier area because they can deal with a bit of shade. And we'll keep an eye on this. It still smells lovely. I'll be taking it from here and then eventually taking it from that one, probably next year. It's going to pop it in here it's a bit shadier, and hopefully it won't evaporate the moisture inside them pots easily. Hopefully, that's the plan. So I've just been in here, and one job I have noticed I haven't kept on top on is the suckers on the tomatoes. They're starting to go a bit wild. You can see some of them are a bit more advanced than others. So I'm just going to spend a little bit of time going in between and taking all these off. Because it's definitely too early for any suckers. That one got a big one. But they are starting to produce the flowers. So I am, this Friday, I should be ordering some compost. And then I'm going to have to move some of the stuff around in here to then start getting the tomatoes into here in the final resting places, because they're not staying in them pots. I think I've got enough big pots in the house I can put them in. Or my other thing is like just planting straight into the bags, which I'm 50-50 on, but I think I'm sure I've got the pots in the house somewhere. So I'm gonna go back and get them, plant them out into that. Because I did it in the bags last year, the actual tomato planters, and they dried out straight away. It wasn't very good. So I am gonna do that probably next Tuesday. Just like to point out as well, my main crop potatoes are starting to come up, which I was worried about how low down I planted them, but a lot of them are starting to come up. It seems the Maris Piper ones are coming first, with all the King Edwards over there. Ooh, that reminds us, I did, Jimmy, end up getting the chalk pen that you said from the range. And I've never used it, so I'm going to mark on what they are. And I'm hoping this time next year, my stupidity with plants and not marking them will be to an end. Ooh, falling over. Oh yeah, and I emptied that out. It was just filthy. I had the King Edwards on the right and Maris Piper over there. So I'm just gonna put the initials on. K E. I'll tell you what, I'll mark them as well, because they were foremost. F M F Oh, these are good. What were these, Charlotte? I'll just put a C. C. Oh, that was terrible. C. K. E. K. E. Now, can you... Right. I'm sure that was one. So I'm just going to do a King Edward. That was definitely one. I want to say this was one. These were Maris Piper. There we go. Sure that was correct. It's very warm. This is 27ish. I'm gonna have to come up each day now to start watering the next 3 days. Then it cools down. It drops down to 14, 15 again, which I'm stopping putting that courgette out because I really want to. And I did buy some. You're not going to see it, but I did attempt to put up a fleece thing I bought from the range, but something on it snapped. I ripped a bit the side of it, but it's not going out. It's going to stay in that greenhouse until the end of May. God knows what size it's going to be by then. I've definitely started off too early. I may even have to keep it in there and pot it up. But yeah, to make room for the tomatoes, I don't think it's going to be in there. Right, so One thing I haven't actually done is fed my plants. Now I've given them seaweed feed, but I don't think that's got a high enough concentrate of minerals in. So I bought a vegetable one. I have bought my tomato one. I bought a vegetable one for the broccoli, cauliflower, no, for the cabbages, and I'm going to give it to some of the sunflowers as well, try and give them a boost. I'm not needing it on my fruit trees. I might give it to my fruit trees because I didn't put anything on them. Yeah, I'm going to give it to my fruit trees as well. Apart from that, I don't think I really need to feed anything else in the plot, just them. So that would be my last job. I'm just going to give you a little show. I need to check the carrots and parsnips and the peas, and I think that'll be me done. Because I'm hungry and very hot. So this is all I've been using as a seaweed. I did, beginning of the season, put some slow release in, but how long does that last for? But I feel like I'm going to have to increase the height of this cabbage net. Because it's touching ends. I know cabbage butterflies can get through if the leaves are touching. Giving these a good water. It looks bone dry on the surface, but everywhere else I'm testing, it's not too bad. But they've needed a good feed. I want to be a miniature one. That was the one that got attacked by slugs and everything. I'm quite happy this bed hasn't shown much weed stuff in it. It had the odd bit, but not much. Did I water that one? No, I did not. Again. Right. Now I'm going to give a bit to the trees. I'm going to have to use another feed. I'm going to give some to the trees. Because if you look, plum is starting to actually set the fruit. You can see it's flowered loads. All around the middle. All of that. I'm going to give that a feed. Obviously more than that, I'm going to have to do another run. I'm going to give them a feed and then feed me. Oh, feed my sunflowers. Right, so that's the feeding done, which they've needed a good one. Now let's check my salads. Now they were doing all right when I come back. Let's check them now. So, this is the red lettuce. It's definitely doing the best out of everything. Spinach has not really taken very well. I think something's ate it, or it's give up. Now we did have the mixed salads here. There's one there. That one's not doing avocado. To be fair, I think this bed needs watered. They're bacon. We've got a couple that's doing all right. This is the warpath. The warpath seems to be doing quite well. I think that was a mixture of something. Like it was two bred together that made a half decent one, which it seems to be doing all right, to be fair. Get rid of that weed. For this being mainly brick, there's so many weeds in it. Now, if you can remember the amount of I didn't. The amount of slabs I put up from this area, there's just so many weeds popping in. There is a couple of the broad beans coming. There's one there and there's one over there. For some reason it looks like rosemary there. I don't understand that one. But you can see, I'm really happy with it. The Montouge, the ones who originally put out have actually taken off again and started to climb. And then you can see the ones we have planted, and there's a couple of these ones for the pods over there, not the pods, for the peas themselves over there. So they've actually been all right. There's no slug damage. So I'm actually quite happy with that side. Now, Attempt to take this cover off with the heat. Let's have a look under here. Right. Oh no, there's a caterpillar. I don't want them. Right, let's have a look. Can we see any carrots? So we have 1, 2. So I've got a couple there. See where I've chopped some together. There's the odd one that's germinated, but not many. I remember one of them was that's not a carrot. I did do some purple, but they're just terrible germination. I think it's going to be one of them things I'm going to have to do it in a pot, because doing it in the ground, I've either done it wrong and there's maybe a different technique to do, or turnips or carrots I just do. I will say I might actually relocate where I'm going to do the carrots as well. This is the hottest part of the garden, so I may move it to somewhere else. But parsnips are actually doing all right. I don't know. Don't ask us how. I did meant to have the radish with the parsnips to see them growing, but somehow they've went to a line next to it. Must have fallen there. But these are the ones I put out a month earlier, so it just shows not to rush it and wait a little bit, because they're actually coming on quite well. I do need to thin them out, but if you look, my radishes are actually nearly done. To be fair, I think this, no, I'll leave that one. They're coming along quite well. Then the earlier ones are coming up. Just. So I've had to come back because my phone overheated and it was that hot. It just stopped us recording. My next video, I am going to be doing a full week along the allotment. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.